This is 125, right?
This is 1 1/4.
Yep. Hello and welcome to episode 125 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this evening, as always, the one, the only, Pert Burkum.
125, staying alive.
Ooh-wee, Pert's always staying alive in 125.
Yeah, I am. That's my core temperature.
What are you, Mr. Fahrenheit?
Yeah, I'm hot.
Or should I say, Mr. Celsius?
Please
Jimmy's.
don't.
Yeah,
please
no.
don't start that again.
Yeah, we're not even going to get into that joke, because that's just
Celsius.
not funny at all.
Exactly. Oh, man. So, how you doing, Jimbot?
Not too bad, not too bad. Got a little cup of Joski here.
Oh, that sounds good.
Ready to rock and roll, you know?
Yeah, we're recording. It's still day out. There's still some light outside.
Dude, it was like 75 degrees today.
Oh, really?
Here. Yeah,
Really?
It's ridiculous.
So last week, we had the record lows, I think the coldest I've ever been here in Iowa. It was negative 16 when I woke up. Just the temperature was negative 16. I think the wind chill was like negative 30 or like negative 40 or something. That's Fahrenheit, my main man.
Yeah, that's pretty cray-cray.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? Since you can die if you're outside for like 10 minutes, I'm going to grow my beard out because that helps.
Ooh, get a little insulation.
Exactly. And of course, so that was like Wednesday. So then by Sunday, I had my beard, but it got up to 55 on Sunday. Anyway, so we have an amazing show scheduled. I know that we have our good friend Alex Culafi coming on.
The cool-off man.
He's not here yet because he is somewhere playing Pokemon.
Or Splatoon 2.
Yeah, his favorite game, Splatoon 2. Let's just put this out there that Splatoon 2 is not one of the best Switch games.
That was a top 10 list as well, right?
Boo.
Like, if you wanted to maybe argue
Yes.
top 5, like, maybe, I could listen to the argument, but top 10, it's like, what, you Jim Brony?
That was a big time Jim move, and he'll never live it down.
It's okay, though. He set the table so the rest of us were, like, scot-free, Like, oh.
Totally.
Well,
He took the punch.
Yep. The real MVP.
So yeah, he's coming on a little bit, but we're going to talk about some games that we've been playing, and Casey's going to get his stuff off of his plate. He's hungry.
Ooh,
wants to eat it.
Real. I am hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. So my madre's in town, so I'm probably going to be limited on this episode, but I might be popping in for a little bit later as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about a little game we did last week, and that is Dragon Marked for Death.
Okay, so yeah, you got the review out. You got the video up. And
thank you, John Raridan.
John Raridan edited that video. Thank you. And then, yeah. Now, last week you were very much on the fence, right, of how this game is. You're like, I got to play more of it, but I don't know where it could go up to be better or go down to get worse. So where are you at now?
I think it pretty much levitated where it was, maybe a titch worse. Yeah, so essentially, I might reiterate a little bit here, but it's you get in there and you pick one of 4 classes, and that decision's going to be made before you even buy the game because there are 2 different modes or 2 different versions. One with the Witch and the Shinobi classes, which is what I played, and then there's the other one, which I think is a more standard, like, warrior class kind of thing, and I blank on what the other one is. But essentially, you're going to have to decide before you buy the game which one you want to play as. Obviously, I haven't played the other ones, but the Shinobi class is really fun. Like, what's cool is, initially I was like, oh, like, everyone gets these nice big long glides, but that's like a Shinobi like specialty, so that character is all about being like super mobile, being able to get around the area pretty quick, lots of, double jumps, you got your dashes, you've got your glides, so it's like really nice movement. So when I switched over to the Witch, It was a little weird because her options. Yeah.
You gotta say it like that.
The
when you have the
witch.
witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we gotta keep this PG, Perry. I know what you were thinking. But yeah, so she plays considerably different. Not as mobile, but like what's cool is you start channeling spells, and then it's all about different button inputs. So like one of the earlier ones, you realize like, all right, when I was the shinobi, I could just double jump off over this ledge, right? But with this, there is no double jump, so it's like, how do I get up there? Well, there's a levitate ability. So you start channeling, you put a couple button presses, and then like a little platform rises you up into the air, and then you can jump off from there, you know?
Right.
So it's pretty cool. There are a bunch of different spells, and, you know, it's... the game sort of throws them all at you, but luckily you can go back in the menu and sort of see exactly how to do it. But... yeah, so the structure is just going in, doing quests, which, you know, there's a pretty big diversity between quests, which is nice, you know, like, they're not all the same.
Usually, that can be a huge issue.
Yeah, no, I commend that, you know, each quest had a different objective, felt different, looked very different visually, so that was promising, you know, but... they're just... It seemed like they're all tuned for multiplayer, even when you're in as single player, which is sort of annoying. Like, just scale everything down a little bit. Maybe it doesn't take as much, you know, to kill. Maybe there are a few, like, a little less items, enemies or whatever. But, you know, you're going to have to, especially in single player, you're going to have to grind a little bit. You got to have to go, like, you could repeat quests and change the level cap. So, you know, the first time you play, it's like recommended level 10. When you go back, you can change it up to 15, 20, 25, 30, you know, etc. So it does...
you know, like Kid Icarus Uprising, or like Smash. You change the level.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice because you're going to have to do a little bit of grinding. On the video review, a lot of comments were sort of comparing it to like a 2D Monster Hunter type of experience, which I could sort of see where it's coming because, yeah, it isn't just like, oh, you go through the level, you move on to the next. Like, there is going to be a bit of replaying levels and sort of grinding up to get leveled because, especially, like I said, in single player, it is very much like, okay, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to go through this whole level, killing every single enemy, having a good old time until I get to the boss, and then I get wrecked. And then I have to go back and do this whole mission again, which is like, well, that was a pretty long mission, but now I'm just going to skip most of these enemies, you know, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to do all these enemies again to just get wrecked by the boss again. So it's like, it's discouraging because it's like, well, it's annoying I have to replay the level, but that's fine, you know. But it's more so like, well, I don't want to replay the level, kill everything, and then die again and waste another half hour, you know. So it's just like a little frustrating on that sense. I did get to play some online with Neil, which was fun. It works really well, as like there was no lag, like it ran smooth. It was pretty easy to get into a match with Neil. But as far as playing with randoms, I've heard it's a little bit more difficult because, like, you can switch. You could pick, like, all right, I want this mission and try and wait for someone, you know, but you could also do a more broad search, which I think is going to yield better results, you know. But I think this game is probably best played if, like, you have a friend or two who, you know, you could sort of coordinate an online match.
Right, and is there any messaging between?
Yeah, there's like
at all.
There's like sort of Splatoon-esque, but you can sort of change them up. Like there's a pretty big pool of phrases, and you know you could set 4 of them, so you could do quick. You know, like hey,
over here,
yeah, booyah.
Exactly.
But yeah, so no, that's definitely
all
good.
To booyah.
Like I said, that's I think is very important, and I'm glad that's in there. You know, but I don't know. I just couldn't help but feel like the game has some good things, like the combat is like, it's like fun, but it's pretty repetitive. But like when I was like, the witch was a little more frustrating because it was like, well, I got to do these. Shit, the witch. You got to do these inputs, and then and it's like I wasn't doing a ton of damage, and you know, whatever. In a multiplayer experience, it might be a little better when like this enemy's getting attacked by a bunch of people, you know, and then this spell's coming through and adding more damage, you know? But as, like, the Shinobi was, like, to take out enemies solo is pretty fun because it's like, all right, I'm gonna do a couple little combos here, and like usually it was pretty much the same combo, but it was still entertaining enough, you know. But the gameplay itself, like, it is a little bit shallow. You know, like, you're gonna be doing the same thing over and over again, which, you know, for some people that might be an issue, for some people that might not be an issue, but yeah, I just couldn't help but feel like the game was just like, you know, like, when I think back on it here, it's like more so like, like, I think of the annoyances more than like the good stuff.
Sure.
I think I mentioned last week too, like, oh, I went to the store, I bought a bunch of potions, and now I'm going to the menu, the bar to pick my quest and move out. Oh crap, I forgot to equip these potions into my like my slots, my item slots. So I need to go back to a store or go to the inn, equip them into my item spots, and then go back to the bar, you know? And it's just like, why couldn't I just do that before the mission, you know what I mean? Before mission select. Like,
right.
It's like, it's asinine.
Some UI problems.
Yeah, so it's just
lazy.
But it's like, I don't know if it was like a decision like, oh, we're going to go sort of more like hard, you know, not hardcore, but like old school feel to it, you know? I don't know. Maybe it was an excuse to be like, oh, well, now they got to like sort of go throughout the town a little bit, you know? Instead of just like, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the online worked well with friends and stuff. So, you know, if you do have friends and you are into this kind of game, like, I think there's definitely potential to have a good time. But if you're gonna, like, if you were looking at this single player, I would say, like, unless if you're really into that style of gameplay, you know, it's like it would be hard to recommend in a single player experience.
In a single player. But I feel like this could be so much fun with 4 people.
I think it would be fun, but like, I think I would be like, oh, well, that was a fun hour we played. Like, I'm good. You know, like, when me and Neil were playing, like, we played for a while, and it's like, okay, like, all right. You know?
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, sort of disappointing because Inti Creates is like, they've done some really great work, you know, like,
Blaster
really,
Master Zero, baby.
Yeah, and
so really, this just begs you the question: where is Blaster Master Zero 2?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have seen that.
Oh, for sure. They must be doing something special because
they must be doing something special.
Hey, I'm wearing my Blaster Master shirt right now.
Are you?
I love my Blaster Master Zero shirt.
I'm wearing a New York Mets polo.
You, the Mets? I never would have.
Yeah, after that horrible Super Bowl.
Oh, wasn't that the most boring, stupid thing you've ever seen?
it would have been a million times better if the results were flipped. Like, I would have been like, well, that was a beautiful game.
Really? Do you really think so? I mean, like, honestly.
Honestly, if it was the same exact outcome but flipped the other way, I probably would have been pretty stoked. I mean, obviously, because the Patriots lost, but it would have been amazing because it would have been like the Patriots' offense did jack diddly, you know, and Brady looked like a bum. I would have been very happy with that. I mean, Brady didn't look particularly...
Besides being a handsome man.
Oh, God. Don't even talk to me. I'm leaving now. No, I mean, honestly, it's like, he played like crap anyway. I mean, the Rams' defense played really well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, so
anyway,
that's the
Dragon
Super
Mark for
Bowl,
Death.
and that's...
you gave it a 6, right?
Yeah, we went with an old 6er. Like I said, it does some good things. It does some frustrating things, and yeah.
Still looking forward to it. Because I understand what you're saying. I guess I really am looking forward to a game where...
Well, you're getting the physical copy, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Well, I'm not, yeah.
But when you do get it, I would love
I'm
to
getting
jump
it for review, actually.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, when you do get it, I would love to play some with you, and like I said, we could sort of dive deeper into getting through some quests and stuff, and see if it clicks more in like a truly full, you know, multiplayer action.
I think we definitely need to get, because it can be playable with 4 people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we need to get 4 people.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we could definitely test it out.
And then I'm gonna make you.
Yeah, you re-review it.
Score.
Dang it.
Yeah, I'll review it. I gave it a 9.
Yeah, that's the best game on the Switch.
Yeah. But so what other games have you been playing? I mean, I know that you've been playing a recent game that we got addicted to while we were in San Antonio.
Yep, that's the game. Like I said, I'm still sort of trucking along in Resident Evil, putting in some time while I can. I need to get back to some good old-fashioned Jack Quest, because I only played about 45 minutes when I first got it, but that's on the docket to keep playing. But I've been playing Downwell.
Downwell.
This is a game that we played with Neil in the old San Antonio. And
yep, couldn't put it down, even though we were all super tired.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah. Now I've heard of this game, like probably many people have, but I've never actually played it. It came out in 2015. I knew nothing of it, so I was like, all right, let's try it out. And the first thing is, it's like, oh, okay, this is very much like a good old-fashioned roguelike. And, or roguelite, I suppose you would say, right? Because you do upgrade. And essentially, it's not just black and white. It's got some color in there, especially when you change up those palettes.
Well, it's black, white, and one color.
Yeah. And red.
3 colors.
Yep. And so essentially you jump down a well, and you just need to get down to the bottom. But, of course, there are enemies all about, as well as different upgrades you can get. But when you're falling, you've got these sweet gun boots on, and you fire off and kill enemies.
Style.
Or you could bounce on their head, depending. There are some enemies that are spiky that you can't do. But what's cool is you want to rally combos. So by killing enemies and not touching the floor, you get like a little combo going up, and you get bonus points that you can, or the currency. They're just like little squares, but you get more currency. But what's cool is as you're falling, when you shoot, you sort of like, you don't pop up in the air, but like you slow your fall down. So it's like, all right, I need to sort of save some of this ammo, because especially when you're trying to get combos going, I need to sort of be able to save some of this to move around and avoid landing.
Right.
But as you're going down, you're going to find caves that have different upgrades to it. So, you start with a pretty standard little like peanut blaster. Just like a little pew, 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 pew.
Well,
I mean, it's not like a weak gun.
Aren't they all kind of like...
Well, no, because you get the shotgun, which is like, a blast. You get the laser.
Aren't they kind of equaled out, like for the most part? There's some guns where it's like they feel like they're a lot better, but otherwise it's kind of like they all have their pluses and minuses, right?
Yeah, I think it has...
So you kind of start off with like the normal gun.
I think it has a lot to do with your style of play. Because like when we were playing, you didn't really like the laser, right?
No.
See, but I like the laser. Because the laser just wrecks everything. But the thing is, you only have like 2 shots.
Right.
Of course, you can upgrade that as you go. But
so that's the cool part about the game, right? Is the upgrades.
Oh yeah. So
because
before
we get into the upgrades,
too, so.
Well, I do want to say that the realization came to me is that this is literally like vertical Goner. I mean, it's vertical Goner. I mean, it's almost... The gameplay is almost identical. It's funny.
Yeah.
And I mean this in all the good ways, because Goner is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, Goner's amazing.
So like let's not say that I mean this in any bad way, because it has its own style. Of course it's actually even similar in style, if you know what I mean. Like it's still like a very black and white and red game. Or whatever color you pick.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so it's very similar, jumping on heads, but also playing it safe with shooting. Of course, we need to find the scythe. And
oh yeah,
I don't know if there is one. That'd be sweet, wouldn't it?
I like the triple.
Oh yes,
the triple,
the ones that comes out in the 3 directions.
Yep, yeah, like down, and then 45 degrees to the left and right of that.
Yes, of course. Yeah, so yeah, let's talk upgrades, because obviously you're going down and there's different caves on the side. Either caves can have gems in them that you can then use to buy stuff. Like they'll just be like kind of like a SteamWorld Dig, where it's like this little clump, and you can find gems in clumps all the way around, like all the way down. but you'll have caves with just those in them, and you collect them, or you'll have a cave with an upgrade in it that has like a different gun in it. And when you switch your guns, even sometimes you can get another heart, which is really nice.
Oh, that's the worst though, when you have like a really nice gun, but you need the heart.
Exactly. And that's how they get you, because you think, no, I don't want to change my gun, but I'm only have one heart, so it's like,
yeah, do I roll the dice or do I? Yeah.
Yeah, I always get the heart. I always succumb to that temptation.
Well, it depends. See, like for me, my favorite is so. In addition to those upgrades that you get, you know, by just finding them off the side of the main hall, is that you could also, after you complete a level, when you get to the bottom, you go and you get to pick a little upgrade, and like they have a bunch of different ones. Like there's one like, oh, by eating enemies' corpses, like after you eat a certain amount back, you get a heart back. There's one that's like, oh, when you shoot a block and it like breaks, a bullet flies up out of it. So that's nice because it's like, oh, well.
Or there's one, yeah, if you shoot a dead
and it explodes.
Corpse, it'll explode. And, you know, all these little things you can pick, little customizable.
One of my favorites.
The customability.
The customability off the charts.
Off the charts.
But my favorite is the 10% discount / store card, because what that does is, obviously it gives you 10% off, which is nice, but it also, after each level, you always have a store right at the top. So for me, that's nice because then I know.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So for me, that's nice because it's like, all right, I can have one heart as long as I get down to the bottom, and then more likely than not, I could just buy at least one more heart from the store, you know? So that's why whenever I see that one
from Cassie Gibbons,
yeah, that's the one I always grab, because then it's like I know exactly where I'm going to be able to refill my health, and I could sort of play, you know, accordingly. Like I could be a little more risky towards the end, and be like, well, as long as I get to the bottom here, you know, I'm going to be able to sort of refill at least one heart, if not more. So, but yeah, it's just super addicting, and what's great about it is that like a really good game is like 7 minutes long, you know. And, like, granted, we haven't... Oh, well, I haven't beaten the game. I'm going to assume you haven't either.
No.
So, like, maybe if you get through beat the game, maybe a 15-minute run, maybe 15 to 20-minute run, you know, like, beginning to end.
Maybe, yeah.
So it's probably, like, what's nice is, like, perfect for quick plays, you know, pick it up, bang out a match or two, you know, go on. What's cool is you also unlock different play styles and different palettes. Now, the play styles... like, I like to use the guy that's a little more floaty. So then that way, when he bounces off an enemy or when I shoot, he gets a little more like, oh, it's going to slow me down falling a little bit, you know, so I can move around a bit more. But there's some that are like, oh, you don't get as many upgrade options, but you have more hearts. You know, and again, just to sort of a little bit of customability on how you want to play, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the one thing that really differs it a lot from Goner, because Goner is like totally, you just pick, it's more roguelike, you know?
Well,
like,
I mean,
Goner's totally like roguelike.
But I guess, you know, with that, you get to pick the different heads, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's it, though. But like, once you've picked it, that's your run.
Yeah, that's true. Well, once you pick the style, that's your run.
No. You can change weapons. What am I talking about? Right? You can change weapons.
Yeah, when you're out in the... I just think you never do, because it's like, why would I want to?
I've
already have the best item in the game.
Duh.
Yeah, idiots.
But yeah,
what are you, dumb?
Downwell's amazing. What are you, dumb? I'm so happy that Downwell was as good as I hoped it would be. You know, like because it was one of those games that I always saw on Twitter, like little gameplay segments of it. And I was thought, man, that game looks cool. I hope it comes to Switch. And then I heard it's coming to Switch. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, it's coming to Switch. So,
well, that's like I said, for me, it was such a surprise. And I'm like, oh my God.
And then the best part, right, is did you talk about the price?
Oh, not yet. That's the exclamation point at the end. Yeah, so I mean, normally we see the old Switch tax, you know, where, you know, you see an iOS game that's pretty cheap, and all of a sudden it's $7.99, $9.99, $10.90, $15.99 plus DLC, freaking microtransactions, you know? So
kill me now, Case.
Now, if this game was $7.99, I would say, guys, you should buy this game. But what's even better is it's $2.99. There's literally
not on sale.
No reason.
There's no reason. Yeah.
It's
Seriously,
it's like
it's a fabulous game.
we were talking with David, and it was just one of those like per like how much bang for your buck. Like I really don't think I can even like fathom a game that's a better cost to enjoyment value. You know, like $2.99, and this game is awesome.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, like I would even like honestly, like I could see this game being $14.99. Like just seriously, I could see it. And I could definitely see it being $9.99 and then $7.99.
Yeah, like
$2.99. It's like good land, you know. So very cool. I hope they get a lot. And this game is coming physically. Did you know that?
is it really?
Yes.
Is it gonna be $2.99?
Isn't that funny? That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd buy
from,
45 copies.
This game and Minute and The Messenger
Ooh,
are all.
Are those
Yeah.
limited runs or?
No, they're from the Special Reserves, I think.
Oh, okay, another
Um,
up and coming.
yeah, it's weird, and they're also publishing, I believe, Enter the Gungeon physically.
Boom.
So, which are
Perry's
gonna
gonna be busy.
games. Yep, for sure. I'm definitely getting all those physical because those are amazing.
Don't worry, nobody doubted you.
Yep, I gotta represent.
Got to keep up your the physical wrangler.
Yes, you're the classic Wrangler. Jill's the hotel Wrangler.
Yeah, she sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. But yeah, Downwell. I mean, seriously, again, I just can't recommend it enough, especially at the price point in which it is to enter. So definitely a very, very fun game.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Is that it then?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, like I said, more Resident Evil I've been playing, but that's going to be... I'll probably just talk about that when it's all said and done, you know? And then Jack Quest probably next week will be when I get into
talk
that.
Jack Quest
so.
next week, for sure.
Sweet.
Did you want to hear about one game I've been playing, or are you heading out?
It depends. If we can make it brisk, we could be down with that.
No, let's not, actually.
No. Why don't you get on out of here?
Yeah, I'll talk about it with Alex.
Perfect. Well,
which I hear him coming right now. Now, you're not necessarily leaving. You're just going to take a little nap.
I'm gonna get a little shut-eye. I mean, I figured last time Alex decided to snooze on in and, keep us waiting. So we're not going to keep him waiting, but I figured a little snooze wouldn't hurt.
So, Alex,
you know?
you go ahead and come on in. And, Casey, sweet dreams.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So, Alex, how have you been doing?
I've been doing okay. How have you been doing, Perry?
Oh, I've been doing great, man. I've been, and by the way, you can talk as loud as you want. Casey won't wake up.
Okay.
I've been playing. Actually, what I really want to talk to you about is Super Luigi U.
Okay. That's a great game.
Yeah. So, I've been playing. I 100%ed New Super Mario Bros. U.
Those last levels are kind of tough. The last 7 or 8.
Yes, super hard. And then exactly. And then there's the are you talking about the Star World levels? Yeah. So I got all the coins, went back, played them all, and then it's cool because spoilers for whoever wants to know. Spoilers, I guess. But when you beat all the levels, and you unlock the last level, have you played that before?
No, I never played the last level.
Yeah, so that is this really fun level, and so if you go back to Super Mario 3D Land, my favorite Mario game of all time.
Yeah, mine too. I think it's one of the best platformers ever made.
Absolutely, I would go as far to say one of the best games ever made because it's one of the best platformers ever made.
No, we need to talk about this then. So, do you agree with me that 3D Land is better than 3D World?
100%.
Yeah, they're totally
100%.
different. I think 3D World lost track of what 3D Land was doing.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, 3D World was great. I've only played it once, and I haven't ever had the urge to go back and play it. Granted, it's on Wii U, 3DS is portable, but I have literally 6 or 7 times 100% of 3D Land.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's just marvelous. It's just, and the bite size, the portability, the 3D, seriously, the 3D is perfect. So, yeah, so you go back to 3D Land. Once if you beat, I believe what you have to do is you have to beat all the levels with Mario and beat them all with Luigi and get the gold flag and get all the star coins.
Yep.
I think there's one more thing you have to do. Anyway, but there's those things, and then once you do that with every level, you unlock the final level.
Yes.
And have you ever played that before? Did you ever do that?
And
it's like
3D Land is like a 3-hour game, and I've got 40 hours into it.
Yep, exactly. I know, exactly. I think I have seriously 70 or 80 hours, I think. Exactly.
It's so good.
It's so good. And I think Neil was just talking about, maybe you, I don't know, someone was just talking about how, I think it was during Slack, but how they embargoed before the review. You couldn't even mention the second half of the game that you unlock, because you do your 8 worlds and they're super fast and super short. I mean, they're great, but then it's like, whoa, that's it. But then you unlock the second half of the game. It's great. They weren't allowed to talk about that in the review on NWR. Anyway. So what I'm trying to get to is that last level is so hard. It's super hard. It's the hardest one, which I love that. You've done the best. Now here's the final test. It's super hard, super platform based, there's even parts where you're jumping. They really make use of jumping on one block onto one block, dodging stuff. And then, so I was kind of expecting that when I saw this level, right? This final level, oh, okay, there's a final level here. Great. I've been it's been facing all this hard stuff. I don't know if I'm really prepared to do this super crazy hard level. And you get in there and it's called Follow That Shell. That's the name I think that's the name of the level, or it just says that. And you just start a shell and you throw it, and it's basically like a Rube Goldberg machine. And you just watch the shell. It takes out all these things. You follow it through the level, and it's actually really easy. And it's here's a present. Here's a really fun game. For all this hard work, have this really fun level that's relatively easy with a hard last coin to get, which is really fun. But anyway, loved it. Absolutely loved it. New Super Mario Bros. I would probably say that as controlling and if you take aesthetic out of it, I love the aesthetic. Don't get me wrong. I am not a hater on this game about how it looks boring and whatnot. I think it's a pretty game. Of course, it's just the same thing. Hasn't really changed right from the first in the series of the new games. But if you take the platforming aspect, it's probably my favorite platformer of all time. And I know that sounds crazy, like a 2D platformer. I love the movement of the game. I love how everything feels. I love the pace of the game. So I really, really enjoyed New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and I only played a few levels with New Super Luigi U or Super Luigi U when that came out, because it was during a time, I don't know what I was playing. It must have been 3DS stuff, because it certainly wasn't a lot of Wii U stuff going on. But I was like, I can't wait, because it's I can beat this game, and then I can't wait to finally dive into Super Luigi U. It's awesome because it's harder, and you only have 99 seconds, so their levels are shorter. I love that. That's why I love Super 3D Land. The small levels are perfect. So playing it, I've had there's some really cool things and some kind of jarring things. The weird thing that I forgot, and you might have remembered this, they zoomed the camera in a little bit on Super Luigi U. So you have this physics where, it's really weird, especially if you've been playing New Super Mario Bros. The whole time, and you switch to this one. They put it in to make it a little tougher. And I was like, I completely forgot about that. And that does make it tougher, because Luigi can jump higher. So it's kind of it's you can jump higher. He's really, really slippery. He can jump higher, but the camera zoomed in. So at first I was like, ugh, I don't like this. like you feel claustrophobic, and it's just like this doesn't feel good. But then you get to the skill, and the level designs are so much more designy. There's so much more the one gimmick idea, but really fun. Whereas as the Mario level, the deluxe levels were much more of an open world, explore a little bit, but go through. It's kind of like you're interacting with this organic world. I mean, of course, it's designed, but it still has because it's bigger. It seems more open. But with Luigi, it's like very much crafted, every single aspect of it for something. And I like that. I love the difference of those experiences. Especially, it's really good compliment to the deluxe levels. So playing that, loving it. I'm almost 100% on it. I've beaten the game, but I'm going back and getting I've almost unlocked all the star levels. And one other weird thing about it is once you beat the game, I think once you beat the game in New Super Luigi U, once you beat Bowser, you can unlock this Mario now when you begin every level. There's an M Mario block at the beginning of the level that you can hit and change the physics back to the Mario's physics.
Does it change the camera?
No, just the
wow.
physics. Very interesting. And it's funny because I don't know why maybe because they thought it'd be easier, but those levels are designed for Luigi's jump. So it was like, and I'm so used to it now. It's like I'm not going back to little stumpy Mario, because it's like his jump is so much better. It's like you have so much. It's crazy. Like once you get used to Luigi, it's like he's a boss, and that's what I really like about it. At first, it feels really weird, but then you control it. So really, just a magnificent game. And honestly, the concept of Super Luigi U was one of my favorite things that Nintendo's ever done. I just think that whole idea of we have this whole game that we made and we're gonna make it. And remember, like when the Wii U launched, and like it was like, we were very concerned about the aspect of DLC. Like, is there going to be DLC? Is that even gonna be a thing? Do you remember that at all? Like that idea? Because they didn't like, is this Mario game gonna have it? Is Nintendo Land gonna have it? They don't mention any part of it.
Well, they were kind of... I think Nintendo was a little sheepish on DLC at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I think once they saw it utilized as like a viable revenue stream, they sort of went all in. But
right.
I think that built up over maybe the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
Since the Wii U's launch. But I do remember the attitude you're talking about as well.
Yeah. Like, just like what's going on. And then, of course, they just kind of totally out of nowhere, it was like, oh, we're actually adding a whole new campaign. It's this whole game, and then also it's standalone, which I thought in that cool green box for the Year of Luigi, I just loved everything about it. It's like Luigi had his own side-scrolling platformer game. Yeah. That's just so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
So, glad to be... I mean, I think the game so much deserves to be on the Switch. It's such a fantastic game that I don't think people should miss out on. And I think a lot of people did because it was on Wii U. I mean, it sold like crazy on the Wii U. The attach rate of that game, I think it's only like outpaced by like... we just looked it up, but I think it's only like by like Mario Kart and something else. But yeah, you just gotta think that series is one of their top selling series. Yeah, it's crazy. So you gotta wonder what's going on. I wonder if the Mario Makers come. What do you think, Mario Maker?
So I think Mario Maker's next.
Yeah.
I think some people would really like it if we were done with New Super Mario Bros. I think they're still going to do new games. I think maybe it could take 3 or 4 years, but I think we'll see another New Super Mario Bros. Game on the system eventually. And I feel the same way about Donkey Kong Country Returns. Because Tropical Freeze just came out. I think it sold something like 4 million, might have been the number that I saw. But I could be making that up. But I think it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It's much better than Wii U.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, and I've been talking with Jules about this because we just decided that there's no way that they're not releasing 3D World. There's no way that's not happening. They have to do that on Switch.
What if they did a Land and World compilation?
Yeah, like that would just be unbelievable. You
But
know,
they
that
won't.
would be awesome.
They won't do it.
No, they won't. Well, the weird thing is Captain Toad is like a sequel to me. I thought it would be imagine if they did a Land, World, and Captain Toad trilogy. You know, because it's kind of like a sequel spin-off of World. And I just think so. It's weird that Captain Toad was first, but it kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. The way having Captain Toad first, because it's kind of like a 3D-ish game, puzzly. Then introduce the side-scrolling old game. Then Then since it's 2 years since Odyssey, so this year we get 3D World, and we could even leave room for Mario Maker. I think around the same time. Anyway, I just think 3D World is coming because there's no reason why not. Yeah. I just think. I mean, especially with 3D World had less to do with you than you did, obviously. You know what I mean? Because it's just because it had some of the touchscreen stuff, but they can totally reroute that. So, and it's so funny. Like, I love the Wii U. It's a cute thing, but it's funny how, like, I think about like Rayman Legends, and
is that on Switch yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've played it. I did not like Rayman Legends on Wii U. I did not like the experience. I thought it was really cool, very beautiful looking, all that stuff. But I did not like the stuff that you know, stop and draw a bridge and then jump onto it and then do this. And I found so I gave it another shot on Switch, and I was like, oh my goodness, this game is so much better when you don't have that stuff in it. Like when they mapped all that stuff to like one button, it was like, oh, this is actually really neat. So it's kind of funny to think that games can actually be better than the Wii U, than something like that, I guess. But anyway, Super Luigi U, really like that game, and it's such a weird thing in Nintendo's history. But it's really fun to visit it again on the Switch.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy, Perry. You sure know how to talk about a game.
Casey, go back to sleep. So, Alex.
You haven't been playing Switch too much. You've been playing, right?
Wait. Well, kind of yes and no. So Travis Strikes Again came out like, what, a week or two ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks ago. I have that physical, but of course I haven't played it yet.
No, you haven't?
Tell me about it. Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is okay. It's an okay game. I think some other fans of No More Heroes are really, really big into it. I think that I've heard some people calling it better than No More Heroes 2. But I love Travis Touchdown, but I love having No More Heroes be a game that's come back, but the actual gameplay of the new game, the arcadey, slishy-slashy, it feels a little too simplified and dumbed down for my tastes.
Well, the funny thing is, last time I played this game was, I think, with you.
Yeah.
At PAX.
Yeah.
PAX East. And, when I seen it, I was like, I really don't think this looks like it's anything. Like, it looks very... I think we were all just kind of like, this is fun. Exactly echoing the sentiments you just had just now.
Wow, I thought about that too.
It's fun to see Travis again, but this game isn't like blowing us away or anything.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't really know. Honestly, I've kind of steered clear of any Travis Strikes Again conversations, just because I know I was getting it. So there's, usually when I know I'm getting a game, I don't really look into it. That's just how I am. So the game is divided. Isn't it divided into different games?
Well, that's what we thought. And it kind of is divided. In the game's story, it's divided into different games. Like, there's one that takes on more of a survival horror. There's one that takes on more of a racing. And there's little tweaks to each one. But 90% of the actual game you're playing is the same arcadey, slishy-slashy...
Oh, really?
Top-down sword gameplay.
See, I had no idea. I thought that this was supposed to be like kind of like a game collection intertwined into one thing. Like, yeah. Like, but actually with equal parts, not with one main. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping that it would be different games because
That sounded really cool, right?
it sounded really cool, and also the game we played at PAX East seemed like it was only good for like one game of
Yeah.
6. Like it seemed like
Yeah.
it was worth 2
Yeah.
hours of really good gameplay.
Right.
But it kind of got stretched out to 10 hours.
Oh wow, okay.
And it's
Interesting.
fine. They find new ways to, change it up every so often. There are different boss fights. There are some
Right.
different mechanics, but for the most part, the gameplay is very, very simple.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of teasing for No More Heroes 3. So,
Right. I mean, did they break the fourth wall? See, okay. Full disclosure, never played any of these games.
yeah. You never
Never
played
played.
1 or 2?
No.
Okay.
So I know that jumping into this game, it was just because I kind of missed. I wasn't in that. I just didn't know about them when they came out. I wasn't really into Nintendo too much around then. And so yeah, I'm jumping into this game fresh, even though I've heard the history about them, but I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. So are you a huge fan of the originals?
Yeah, 1 and 2
Okay.
I think are 2 of my favorite games.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So you played this one all the way through.
Yep.
All right, gotcha. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't heard any sales or anything about this game, but I wonder how it's doing.
Yeah, me too. Because
You know?
it's the original reason why Travis Touchdown got brought up on stage at the original Nintendo Switch reveal, I hear, was something Nintendo did to connect more with the Western audience. Because
I forgot about that original, when they originally announced that.
yeah,
okay.
when he got
'Cause
up
I
on
was-
stage.
I was just thinking that the original announcement was in the indie showcase at the very end. I mean, there was when he had the trailer, but I forgot that it was like already teased that Travis Touchdown is going to be in a new game.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so weird that like they were tying this to indies,
Yeah, and
so weird.
it-
It's totally like a third party-ish thing. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's weird.
there
the whole thing
are
is weird.
some ties to indie games. Like Travis can wear shirts based on various indie games, and there's
Yeah.
a few significant call-outs to Hotline Miami, which I think is kind of a cool thing to pay some mind to. But
Yeah.
I was almost expecting it was going to be Suda51 making like a retro game challenge style collection,
Yeah.
utilizing indie developers to make multiple different games.
Right. And that's not what it is.
That's not what it is. It's
Interesting.
It's the new Travis Touchdown game, which features very arcadey slashing gameplay and some callbacks to various popular indie titles.
And there's like a game called Donuts and Coffee or something like that,
Yeah,
which I love Donuts and Coffee.
it's a great
So
combo.
it's a good name for a game.
Yeah.
It's like a game called Puppies. I love puppies.
yeah.
Who doesn't?
Everyone loves puppies.
If you don't love puppies, just stop listening. Seriously, I don't want you listening to my podcast. Thank you. Bye. Just kidding. But that's interesting to hear. So I, you know what? I knew kind of all this going into, before. Like I didn't buy it. Just I knew that it was kind of like an in the air, a 7-ish type game. Like I knew it was, and that was fine with me. Now the interesting thing is there is planned content for this game.
Yeah, there's a
Like
season
DLC,
pass.
right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was another thing is I bought it because it's like I got a season pass comes with a physical,
Yep,
which is really cool. Did you get this physically?
I did.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, because you're a cool guy. Because we got the Katamari Damacy too,
Yeah,
physically. See,
They reprinted the game a couple times, though, I think.
Oh, they did?
I think it's
Oh, good.
possible to get Katamari now.
Well, the cool thing is I kind of wish that Jules got it from Play Asia, and it has that cool Japanese. It's perfect. Like it looks way cooler. It's the same thing, but it's in Japanese with kanji. I wish I would have got that one. But anyway, yeah. Anywho, yeah, Travis Strikes Again, which I hear everyone. I've heard it on multiple podcasts. Even at PAX, just it being called Travis Strikes Back. Everyone calls it Travis Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That was a fantastic game to talk about, Alex.
But good. Okay, so I guess So what was the other games you had?
I'll do a couple quick hits.
Okay.
So I played through Mario plus Rabbids over Christmas break.
Yes.
That game is badass, and I mean that
awesome.
in the most positive way possible. It's so good. It's like a puzzle game and an XCOM game and an RPG.
Yeah, and the pacing is pretty good too, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty good. Like I beat that game.
Me too.
Which I was, you know, that kind of surprised. Going into this game, I didn't get it, you know. I don't even remember when this came out. I feel like it was really early. Like it was like a March or something game. But Casey got it for me for Christmas last year. So 2017, I think. Anyway, so I got it. So I played through it then. So I played through like almost a year later, I think. And I loved it. Though, I mean, you know, my big thing was just like, I just don't care about Rabbids one bit. And it's just like, it worked against me. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like that I wanted to not like them and I didn't buy it out of spite. It was just like, I genuinely I'm not interested in this because of that. I don't know. I mean, like, it just because I naturally just didn't care for it. And I honestly, like, the Rabbids were pretty cute during it, but I still wish it was like Rayman. Like, why not like Rayman in Mario? Like, I don't know. It worked good. I guess in the end, it did work good. Amazingly, somehow it works. And the little characters are really funny. And what do you think of them? Like, what did you think of that aspect of it?
So I'm kind of surprised you're saying this because I had kind of the opposite reaction. Although I had more of an open mind towards the Rabbids, I would say. And I had also seen in the pre-release content, they seem pretty cute and funny. And in the game itself, I honestly think I've seen more personality out of these Rabbid characters than I ever saw out of Rayman. Which is not crazy slight against Rayman, because some great Rayman games have come out over the years, and all.
It's like I'm a huge fan of Legends. I'm a huge fan of Rayman Legends, and it's like I'm not really a huge fan of any Rabbid games, but I can't disagree. I totally agree with you. With obviously the characterization was great, you know, on that end. I mean, you know, some of the UI design of Rayman of Mario and Rabbids was really weird. Like, I felt this, like, the fonts that they use and just their text bubbles looked really janky and weird and kind of took me out of it. And like some of the weird interactions with things were kind of like stilted and kind of weird. But anyway, as a whole, it was just such a very bizarre experience, I think, for me, in a good way. It ended up being like, I mean, what do you think about like the overworld and all that kind of stuff?
I think the weakness of Mario plus Rabbids is the puzzles that you have to do outside of the combat. I think something needs to be there, and I don't hate the game, and it didn't put me off as much as it put off some other people.
Right.
And it helps that everything in the overworld is animated, so it just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and like it was a really pretty, you know, the lighting is really pretty in that game. I know what you mean. It's like I like the cohesion it gives.
Yeah,
like you're wandering around in the kingdom. So it's like I don't know if I would say I'd prefer it if it was just menu based, like you do this arena, then you do this arena.
I think you need to walk around.
I like the walk around.
Yeah.
And I just wish that the stuff you were doing was a little bit more interesting. And it's kind of jarring, like having, you know, that you're controlling the vacuum and not controlling, like you're not jumping. You know, you're walking around not jumping. It ended up working though, but it kind of was like let's just get to the next battle. Come on, let's go. Like this, there's probably some pretty. I mean, sometimes there were some pretty good puzzles. I remember one that like had to do with it was a maze-like thing, and you had to find the right entrance and stuff, and it was kind of tough, but it worked. I mean, some of them were balanced pretty well, but yeah, as a whole, it was kind of like I kind of wish I could just get to the next puzzle.
Yeah,
and it's like, what is this adding? And also, it's like the coins and finding stuff, like there wasn't like that much exploring that felt like it felt good. anyway, but yeah, the game's awesome though. I mean, it really took me, and it was really one of my favorite games I played that year.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I think I tolerated the overworld sometimes a little more than I loved it, but the parts of that game that work, the combat and the story and the writing, they're all so good. And there's so much heart to it that it became... And the difficulty balance is mwah. Like...
Did it start off really tough for you? I'm just wondering, did you, like, wonder, like, man...
So there are 4 worlds. I thought 1 and 2 had like a decent challenge. I thought World 3 was really hard because that's where it spiked, I think, the difficulty. And I think that's where a lot of people dropped out who did stop playing the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then World 4...
I just remembered it was definitely... The whole time for me, the whole game was kind of it just kept getting better and better and better and better. Like, I think, because what I was doing, I'm kind of a... I think we all have a little completionist in us where, it presents you, like you beat a level, and then it presents you with another level that you can play, that you unlocked, that's harder, but it's like, well, I'd like to complete the game as I go. Why not? That's a bad idea in this game, because they unlock really hard levels that aren't really scaled to the difficulty that you have. So I realized, okay, I can't complete this game as I go. I have to play through the game, and I'll come back, when I'm a little later and beat those levels you unlock, and that was a lot better. But also just to but I really like how the game opens up and how you keep getting new characters, and they can do different things, and it's like, man, it gets to the point where it's like, I really feel good with all the characters, and like I think that the final boss was really hard. And it was kind of one of those things where I think I remember feeling, if I don't beat him, I'll probably never beat him. Yeah. It's like, it's so long, and we did so much. But the way I had it is like I barely beat him because I had like healing. I think I had Peach or something. You have the healing enemy that resurrected me so many times where I could finally get it. And I was like, I beat him, and I felt so good about it. But yeah, great game.
Yeah, great game.
And you just played, just this recently. Played through that
through Christmas break. It was kind of my Christmas break game.
That's a perfect. It basically was for me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Casey got it for me for Christmas. So
yeah.
I remember like sitting when that was like when we were like I know exactly what we were doing. We were watching through Monk, the TV show Monk. We were watching through that on my projector downstairs, and I was playing that while I was watching that. It was the best of times, Alex. It was the best of times. It definitely wasn't the worst of times. It was great.
Nice.
But I do want to, before we get on to another game that you've been talking about, I would like to talk about a certain game that came out just a couple weeks ago. It kind of shadow dropped, or whatever you call it, from that indie showcase, and that's
Apex Legends.
No, Unruly Heroes.
Okay.
What's Apex Legends?
See, oh man, my joke fell flat. That was the Titanfall developer's game that just came out. Did you follow that?
No.
Okay, Respawn, Titanfall's developer, shadow dropped a game on Monday.
Oh, okay.
And it's a battle royale. Sorry. Back to
wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
No, I appreciate your joke a lot more now. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Is that on? Was it PC or is it?
It's PC and the 2 non-Nintendo consoles.
Gotcha. It's for Nintendo.
There
you go. Yeah. Unruly Heroes. By the way, I'm getting back to that. So, have you seen this game?
I have no idea what it is.
No idea. Yeah. So I'd never heard of it before this. And when I saw a trailer for it, I was surprised I'd never heard of it because it looked so incredible. I would recommend that anyone who's listening to this looks at a trailer for this game because, funnily enough, I think it's really funny that we were talking about Rayman Legends because that's what this game looks like. And if you know what Rayman Legends looks like, you should know that that's quite the compliment to be compared to that aesthetically, because Rayman Legends is one of the most beautiful games like I've ever played. I mean, just so much skill went into that. And so this game, obviously not in the exact same caliber of how it looks, but just the way it plays and the hand-drawn visuals look extremely nice. And the game, it's fun. I like it. It has a few drawbacks, which I'll talk about. But first, I'll talk about the good stuff, because that's what nice people do.
This looks a lot like Rayman Legends. I just want to add, like you're totally right.
Thank you. Now, and I think it was Grills, one of our listeners. It was one of our. They mentioned how it looks and plays like Rayman Legends, but it also kind of has the combat of Guacamelee, which is a very good, astute point. Which I think this is totally Rayman Legends and Guacamelee put together. It's level based though. It's not a Metroidvania. It's level based. It feels good. The controls feel good. The controls feel. You have a lot of different things you can do with each character. So you have 4 different characters that you swap out on the spot whenever you need them. 2 of them can double jump. 2 of them can levitate. One of them can break through walls, and then you get to certain points where there's even these little activation things where each different character has a different thing they can do on these activation points. Which is cool. On paper, that is really cool. And when you're playing it, it can be cool, right? Because you go, I just want to play with this guy, and he'll do this. He plays differently. I'm going to learn how to play with him. The natural things that would be fun when you have multiple heroes at your disposal. They're all varying in different, their sizes and characters, and they all play really differently. It's cool. The level designs are really pretty. They're more like, they're not exploratory. They're more like single guided. I always kind of like to put things in Mario versus like Donkey Kong, not the game Mario versus Donkey Kong. That was a bad way of putting that. It's like Super Mario Bros. Versus like Donkey Kong Country. Whereas I feel like Super Mario Bros. There's so many different ways you can go through a level. But Donkey Kong Country is kind of like a guided path, in a sense, a really delicious, amazing. Man, Tropical Freeze is such a good game.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. I love that game. I really want a sequel to that game. I was really hoping that Retro was going to do a sequel to that game.
I would love a sequel. I would also love if they remaster Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I
HD, baby.
I think that's also one of the best platformers ever.
Absolutely. I think I might like that better than Tropical Freeze.
Me too.
I've played it on 3DS twice too. I've completely 100%ed it, and I loved it on there. Anyway, not to get off on that tangent, but I'm glad you like Donkey Kong Country because it's great, and I love the original trilogy too. To be honest,
nice.
I think I like the new stuff better, but okay, tangent done. Unruly Heroes though, so you have the 4 characters. You go through this really pretty environments. There's enemies, obviously, but it's really more environmental based, I'd say, from what I've played so far. You're just trying to, it's one of those things where if you die, then you have to pick one of the other 3 characters, and then you start playing as them right there. So what happens, and this is where it gets kind of complicated and kind of like where the design of this game on paper just doesn't really fully work out in the game. Because, if you die, you can get that character back if you hit their ghost. The ghost kind of flies in, kind of like on New Super Mario Bros. Like, help me! And the bubble comes out from the side. And you have to pop the bubble to get if you're playing in multiplayer, that's what happens.
Right.
It's kind of like that, but this is a single player game. It might be multiplayer. I don't know, actually. I could see it being multiplayer. I should probably check that out. I think it is, now that I think about it, but I don't know. I've only played it single player. So basically, it's weird because it's like, okay, to get that guy back, I have to hit the bubble. But if I continue on through the game, I will need one of you can't get through some parts without some people. So obviously they have to make it a way for you to get that guy back. So it's like you play through the game and then you need him. So the bubble comes up and if you haven't gotten already, it's just kind of like a what's the point of the bubble type thing. It's just kind of if you're gonna design levels to where you need specific ones and you can lose them, like you really can like lose them and then like if you don't get their bubble, it'll fly away, but you'll need it, so it'll come back to you. It's just kind of like what's the point, you know? Like it's just kind of obtuse in that way, where, and then the controls kind of, because you have so many different, like, you know, you hit like the action button and hit it twice and it does something different. You hit it up and down, you know, you can slam, you can do all different kinds of stuff. It's kind of hard to immediately learn all 4 of the different characters' moves right then and there. So it feels kind of clunky a little bit to where, you know, like there's the ones that can do really far ranged attack. Everyone has a ranged attack, but some of them, their natural attacks are more ranged. It can just feel kind of clunky, and you're jumping around and you're getting hit and you don't really feel like it's fair. It's not a very good feeling. Like on some bosses that I faced, it's like that. But I think as a whole, it's a very ambitious and cool game. There's you collect because it's level based, which is kind of weird because this game just doesn't play like a level based game, but you can go back. They're long, huge levels, like huge levels. You can go back and there's like a certain amount of coins in a level, and if you miss those coins, sometimes you can miss them because something falls in front of them or whatever. You have to play through the whole level again to get them back. Those coins are used for buying costumes for your characters. I think there's like 4 different ones, and so that's a cute little neat system. I always like being able to buy costumes and customize and accessorize. I like accessorizing.
Yeah.
Do you like accessorizing?
Always.
Oh yeah. You have your closet full of your grills for your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
You pick a different out every day. And so yeah, so the game kind of landed with me. Like, I really am enjoying looking at it and playing it. Like the controls, like moving feels fun. And the level design is pretty good. Some of it seemed kind of like amateurish in some ways, but really it was pretty good. And then what gets you is like the music and the visuals are just very, very pleasant to look at. And there's some pretty cute, you know, voice acting and text in the game. So it just ends up being this really impressive is what I would say. The game is very impressive. I do feel like on the design of the game, it's not the best, you know, just in how it works and how you use your like there's some parts, like there's this part like with the pig where I could, like, he can become basically like if you activate it at this one spot, he can become a balloon and he floats across and these spikes, and that's the only way you can do that is with him. And if you hit a spike, you're dead. It's kind of like one of those things where you're just going to die. And I was like, well, is this what I'm supposed to do? And so, like, you know, you hit it, you just hold right to go across the pit. And at the very end, it's like you would try to jump onto the platform and then you die. And I was like, are you supposed to be able to get across? So I did it, and I was like, okay, maybe that's not what you do. And so I tried other things. I eventually came back to it, tried it a couple more times, and I finally got it to where, like, when you jumped at the right moment at the very end, I made it to the platform. Like, you know, that doesn't feel good. Like a game's design should not make it to where even if you know what to do, they don't make it clear and it's hard to do what you're trying to do. So you realize, like, you don't even know if that's what it's supposed to be. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's so it's like that can be frustrating. Where it's like, well, I tried that before. Why? Like, the puzzle isn't getting there. It's how do I get there? I need this character. I need to go across here. And it did not feel like it was a skill-based thing. Like, it wasn't like dropping onto a platform that's moving and you're trying to land on it. It's like it should just be able to leave you right there, but you're not. You know, it just felt janky. So there's some parts like that in the game. They feel like that. But overall, it's a good experience. It's really fun. I'm sorry that I feel kind of silly right now because I don't know if it's a multiplayer game. I should just probably look that up, but I guess I can talk about that next week if it is, or I can just look it up right now.
All right.
Yeah, up to 4 players. So yeah, so I think that would completely change the game. And as where Casey was just talking about Dragon Marked for Death, how he got to play it with 2 players, but he never got to play with 4, and how it seemed like it was kind of meant for 4. I could see how this game was kind of meant to be played with more players. So I think that'll make it a lot better. So I will play that, and I'll definitely get back to everyone on that. But as its own right, it's still a fun game that I think if you like platformers, if you like some, like if you like Rayman Legends and Guacamelee, then you probably would like this. So jump into that. So there you go. Sorry for that delay. It gave just enough time to let Alex yawn a little bit to get nice and sleepy.
I am a sleepy boy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about one more game. Right?
Sure. It's kind of like 1.5 more games.
Okay, yeah. Actually, can we talk about 4 and next week talk about 2?
Sure.
Cool. So what are we talking about? Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4.
So this is a game.
This is a game that is coming to Switch this year.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, wasn't this game confirmed for Switch?
Yes,
wasn't like 3?
So, Resident Evil 4, the Resident Evil remake, and I believe Resident Evil Zero were all
that's
confirmed for
that's
this
so
year.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, that's something else. Man, 4 on the Switch that's something else.
Have you played 4?
I have played 4. I have played 4. It's kind of like me and my friends have played through 4. So I basically watched my friend play through most of it, but I have played. It's a pretty insane game.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
So I played Resident Evil 4 on GameCube when it was the 2-disc version of that game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was life-changing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And
I loved how that was a exclusive.
Yeah,
at the time,
for
cool.
for a short period of time it was.
But that was so cool to have that only on GameCube. Anyway.
Yep. So I getting back to play Resident Evil 4. I tried playing it on the PC. I got to the first town. I got annoyed by the fact that I couldn't move and shoot at the same time, and then I stopped playing.
Right.
So that was my first foray to, as a grown adult in 2018 or 2019, trying to play Resident Evil 4 again. Now, yesterday, or the day before, there was the Steam Lunar Sale that came out, and I was in a PC playing mood. So I ended up getting...
Oh, no, I'm so sorry about that. Just kidding.
I ended up getting Far Cry 5, Watch Dogs 2, and South Park The Fractured But Whole for $35 total, which is quite a good deal in my opinion.
That's a good deal. On PC, though, if you would have waited maybe another couple of weeks, you could have got that all for, what, $5?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like sometimes.
Yeah, it is sometimes like that. So I played some Far Cry 5, and it's really good. And I was like, you know what? I want to play this other game about you facing off against a cult, Resident Evil 4.
Skadoosh.
I played some Far Cry 5, and then I got the urge to play Resident Evil 4. So I went back into Resident Evil 4.
Makes sense.
I gave it a chance after the first town, that first encounter where you're like fighting the Dr.
guy.
Salvador. Yep. And I was like, and it clicked, and then I kept playing through it.
That chainsaw guy's scary.
He's scary in the best way.
Yes. I mean, it's like you hear him coming, and it's like, sweet mother of mercy, let's go.
And what I had forgotten was exactly how well designed and how much fun and how cozy of a game Resident Evil 4 was. And as I got into it more and more, that became very evident to me. And I got about 4 hours into the game. I'm in the castle area now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love the castle. Or is that the moment where it's like you see the merchant, and it's like, how the heck did you get here? Yeah. Or like you fall down the hole, and howdy, stranger.
What are you buying?
What are you buying? Thank you. Yeah,
That's
Casey.
pretty good.
Casey, what do you think about this game?
I mean, I know we've crossed this bridge before, but it's borderline pretty much 100% Fire Emblem Light.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, that's a really. I have really great memories of like that's like my. I'm 11 years old, staying up late, like staying up till 4 a.m. playing Resident Evil 4 in the basement, all hopped up on Reese's Pieces and full throttle. That's like that's Resident Evil 4 for me. So
That's
very
a good
much
night.
nostalgic. It is. It totally. I remember that I remember, another one of those nights where it was a snow day the next day. Which, if you can get to your friend's house on a snow before and stay at their house on a snow day like the next day, best thing ever, because you can stay up late on a school night and then go sledding in the morning. And I remember literally sledding down the street to my Walgreens, getting 3 packs of Mike and Ike's, and then going back home and putting all of those. It wasn't just me and my friends, putting 3 packs into one bowl, even though they were different kinds of Mike and Ike's. And that really, really was something else, Alex.
Let me ask you, are Mike and Ike's your preferred fruit candy of choice?
Like jelly bean? Because really they're a jelly bean. You know what I mean?
They're kind of like a bad jelly bean, which is not to say they're bad, but it's like a jelly bean made improperly.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I love that. My favorite fruity candy would be Starburst, if you'd say fruity. If you're lumping those in the same thing. But as for jelly beans made badly, Mike and Ike's, I love the Mike and Ike. I love the original ones too. I also love the Sours, the sour Mike and Ike's. Like literally, when I said that, I salivated, and like I have to swallow now because that sounds so good. Those Sours are just so good. Skittles are good,
Pavlov's
too.
Mike and Ike.
Totally, dude. Exactly. Yeah. I also love on the bad jelly bean front. I actually love hot tamales. I love hot tamales. I remember that's the one I would get at school from the vending machine. Good old pack of hot tamales. But yeah, Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
So you're back up. You're back on this game's okay. Wait, can you control it? Is it controlled differently?
So it's still Resident Evil 4, so you're still standing in place and moving your gun around on the screen, and it takes some time getting used to. I'm using an Xbox One controller, and it's been working all right for me. I think my first impression of getting back to it was negative because I wasn't used to that kind of control. But once I actually gave it like a sustained chance, I realized that, hey, maybe Resident Evil 4 didn't age as bad as I thought it did.
Right. Well, did you ever play the Wii version?
No, and I think I might have had it too.
I think that was one of the mind-blowing things about the Wii version. Well, one, that was a big deal when that came out, right? Because Resident Evil 4 was like actually kind of new. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like 3D Land or 3D World coming out on the Switch. It's kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a retro release. It was like this release is now playable on this system. And I just remember I never played it, even though I do own it on the Wii. I never played it on the Wii, but I just remember hearing about the pointer controls, being really good, like almost to the easy point, kind of like Metroid Prime. Did you ever play Metroid Prime on the Wii?
No.
Oh my goodness, dude! That's one of those games. Remember the days of the GameCube where we had single analog and we didn't have dual analog stuff? Like Metroid Prime was single analog, like GoldenEye and stuff. And I remember thinking, playing the James Bond Agent Under Fire on the game. I think it was Agent Under Fire, whatever. The one on GameCube. And it had, you could do both. I think you could do both. You could play it single analog stick, like move around and move like your, like with your gun. Or you could actually do the dual analog with the C stick, like now all games are now.
I really like the salient point you brought up.
And I remember being like, I can't do that. I can't do double analog. That's impossible. And I remember like getting games or not playing games because they were dual analog, because that was too hard for me. And it's so funny to think about now, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's just like a total cultural change to where you have 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds who can play dual analog just fine. And it's just a weird thing to me. But I think that Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, I believe it did do something in that area where it was, or maybe it just was easier to aim just because the motion was cool. The motion, I can just think of GoldenEye, funnily enough, James Bond GoldenEye for the Wii, and Metroid Prime, and Pikmin. You know, those are 3 examples that are really good with that Wii pointer control, which is really cool. Anyway. Anywho, Resident Evil 4.
It's a good game still.
It's a good game still, and I am looking forward to playing. I hope that comes physically to Switch, because that would just be so cool.
I had that thought today. I think that'd be really nice.
It's a good thought, isn't it? Isn't those always good thoughts? I hope those come. You know, the good old. I hope that's physical, so I can see it on my shelf.
Yeah.
I gotta show you my shelf. Remind me to show you that.
All right.
Also, check this out. Since you're not, you can look at this bad boy.
Hold on. Let me see.
You see that? So, everyone, I'm showing Alex a picture of my steel case Kingdom Newlands.
That's pretty.
Isn't that cool? Check out the back here. Oh,
that's a pretty steel book.
I love this. I keep it. I keep this not on the shelf. I keep it next to me just so I can feel it. Cool thing though is this is a steel book and it still has the, the binding, which I really like with the limited run. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's good then. So. We're going to hopefully, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, have you on next week to talk some Resident Evil 2. If that works out, that'll be awesome, because I know Casey will want to talk about it. And I'd love to hear your discussion, because I haven't played it, because I'm waiting for it to come out on Switch.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. If anything, it'll stream on Switch. I'll just go hang out with Danny Bivens and stream it in Japan.
Nice.
No, I could probably, I have an Xbox One. I could get on Wait. No, it's just PS4, right?
It's PS4. It might be Xbox, and it's definitely PC.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week. Right now, let's take a break, and we're gonna end. This is crazy. We're gonna end the show with the eShop Roundup. Me and Alex. And Casey.
Bleu.
Casey, wake up! Wake up!
Ooh-wee.
And we are back with the eShop Roundup.
Ooh-wee.
And we have a bunch of games today, like always. And so we're going to get right into it. And so last week, we ended with Mages of Mistralia, and now we're starting with Hyper Ride for $1.99 from Cool to Play. And this is there's one picture of, there's a few, of gameplay, but it looks like just a shooter, like it looks like a shooter, but like with a combo system, but it doesn't look like it's like a crazy tons amount of enemies on the screen. Obstacle course style vertically scrolling arcade game. There you go. So that's that, I guess. But Alex, why don't you take the next game?
Sure. Fishing Star World Tour by WFS. So I wonder if that stands for World Fishing Star. It's $29.
So.
It's $29.99 US dollars. It looks like a fishing game.
You know what? This game actually looks pretty cute. Like the art style is fun.
Yeah.
And like it looks very Japanese like designed. I love it. This is one of the more better fishing games that like looking that I've seen. It's $29. It's $30.
Yep. 180 kinds
Crazy.
of fish, 70 types of fishing gear, 40 fishing locations.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. You know, I hope the new Animal Crossing has expanded fish stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the best
I
parts.
love it. Exactly. Next up, we have Drowning for $2.99. Is this about my dreams? Actually, this is a very pretty looking, kind of looks like a walking simulator game, I guess. Short game. It's just comes out. It's a short game about a boy who quickly discovers he has depression in his earlier years of high school. So, it's $3, and there's a demo for it. I love how there's a demo for the short game. It's like 1 second long.
Walk through a variety of beautiful low poly environments. That's all
right.
I need to know.
Pass. That's a hard pass. Just kidding. Next up, we have, what is it? It's Free Cell
Battle
King. That's right. For $7.99. Is this just cards? I don't know.
3,000
You can use
questions.
your me on it though. How crazy is that?
That is kind of crazy.
So weird. It looks like solitaire. It's solitaire, but you can play against people. That's weird. All right.
Yeah.
$8. Not bad. Why not? Next up, though, we have Agartha S. For $7.99. Agartha S. The newest action game that makes feel nostalgic is born here now. What? The newest action game that makes feel nostalgic is born here now. That's what it says.
Cellular automaton reproduces natural phenomena in the underground world, which is the same physical law as the real world. Proceed to purchase.
Oh my goodness. The steam condense into water by coldness.
Period, comma.
Period, comma. And when the temperature falls further, it turns into ice. That's amazing. This game looks wonderful. And it's a really pixely, like, really ugly looking game. Like just weird looking.
It looks like, you know that filter, like those filters in Super Mario Odyssey that like turn it into a retro game?
Yeah.
Through like this weird retro pixelated cell shading.
Kaleidoscope thing. But yeah.
You two are crazy.
This is very weird. And I'm kind of interested into it though because of the period, comma. But
that's my pick for this week.
Yeah. Next up though, we have Necrosphere Deluxe. Necrosphere Deluxe. This is $7.99. This game looks cool. Actually, yeah, Jules picked this up and it says, I think it's a game where you don't jump. Or something like that. You only control with 2 buttons. So I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have a review up on the old site, so you can check that out. What's our next game, Alex?
Bombfest Explosive Fun. Or just Bombfest by Whitehorn Digital. Explosive fun, blow the competition to bits and be the last toy standing. It looks like a cute little multiplayer game.
Yeah. I've heard some good things about this on Twitter. I think it's a game you need to have multiplayer to have fun with it, obviously. Because I remember Justin Nation, he mentioned to me that Bombfest is a snooze fest or something like that. Or it was just boring. And I thought that a boring game named Bombfest is really funny. But I think that with multiplayers, it's a lot better. Next up, we have a really neat looking game that, what in the heck? It's called Egg, the Platform Puker. A ridiculous platform game where you propel yourself around using your vomiting superpowers. And this is $14.99, and it's like hand-drawn art. It's actually really clean-looking hand-drawn art.
Despite the bizarre title, which would lead you to believe it's another quick localization job, but I don't necessarily think that's the case.
I mean, it's almost like Adult Swimmy, you know, like almost that. It's like in between that and stilty indie game, but it's fairly colorful. I kind of totally dig the colors of the vomit and everything else. But interesting, $14.99, very weird. This one looks right up Alex's alley. This next game.
Yeah, New Star Manager by 5 Aces Publishing.
New Star Manager. So this is soccer management.
Soccer management.
You've never experienced it before.
I like how it's soccer management is what it's called, but you are the backbone of New Star Football Club. Like it can't decide which naming of the sport it wants to be.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly. That's great. They got some killer localization there.
Yeah.
All right. It's a soccer simulation game. This next game though, Gabuchi. Now, what does this game remind you of, Alex?
Box Boy.
It sure does. I've heard it's pretty good too. And Neil did the review, I believe, on the site. And yeah, and this is made by. Oh, this is not like an indie. Like this is made by like seasoned veterans. Dang it! Why can't I think of who did this? Anyway, whatever. Oh, it's almost too. Just give me a second, because it's worth it. Because it's really weird. Because when you look at this game, you think that it's just like an indie game, kind of even knocking off like
Box Boy.
Box Boy, but it's really not though. And it's made. I mean, sure, it is that. I just mean it's made by people. So it's the first self-published game from Hand, a developer with ties to Square Enix, Bandai Namco, and Nintendo. But they developed the Disney Magical World games on 3DS and Kingdom Hearts Recoded and 352/2 days. So it's like, anyway, and that was from Neil's review on this game. So check out the review on NWR. Jules also got this game, and he told me it's pretty good. So next up, though, what do we got?
Robothorium.
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 It's $14.99.
Cyberpunk Dungeon Crawler is what it calls itself.
Lead your own robotic revolution. Heck yeah, that's the only thing. I would never let someone else lead it. So we have a review. David Lloyd reviewed this on the site just today, which would have been a couple days ago for people. So check out our review on NintendoWorldReport.com. And he liked the game, gave a good review. So next up, though, Arcade Archives, baby. Uh-oh, wait a second. Oh my goodness, no way. There's not another Neo Geo game. Casey, there's not another Neo Geo game this week. That's crazy. So we just have an Arcade Archives game, and that is Moon Cresta. Space is in a panic. Unite aircrafts by docking and power up to defeat the enemy. So this is a shooter. This is definitely one of the very old arcade games, which I totally dig. I think these games always look fun, but those colors, man, the colors of the arcade games, like they baffle me because I'm so not an arcade person, and the only games I grew up with were like NES games, like those washed out colors. But you see these games with those super vibrant like neon greens and stuff. It's just really cool. Like that's why playing Sky Skipper, the Arcade Archives version that came out, is awesome, and I love that. It's so bizarre and weird. But yeah, Moon Cresta. Next up,
Bleep bloop.
Bleep bloop.
Bleep bloop. Looks like a Flash game almost.
Totally. And it's yeah, actually. Yeah, interesting. It's pixely, but yeah, it just looks like a little cute puzzle game. $3.99. Meet Bleep and Bloop, the friends, as they help each other overcome all the challenges that stand in their way. There you go. It's a playful puzzle game. It's like a puzzle platformer type thing. More of a puzzle game, I should say. All right, this next up though, for $12 even, we have Pixel Colors.
Ooh, it's got a demo.
Rainy Frog. It's got a demo. It's $12, like I said. And this is a Sudoku, not Sudoku. What am I thinking of here? What's the stupid game called?
Reversi.
Picross.
Just
Picross, yeah. This is a Picross game. It has lots of characters, and there's different colors. Obviously, is the mechanic, and you can play a sponge cake. But moving on, we have.
Hey Perry, you know what's a real good game? That Miles and Kilo.
Kilo.
I mean Kilo.
Yes, it's a very good game.
Moving on, we have
Solitaire Klondike Black.
Oh yeah, at night, baby. It's $5, 30% off right now for $3.50. It's solitaire. You can probably just understand from the title what this game is. It's from G Mode. So next up we have Zombie Night Terror for $14.99 with a very scary images on here. It's a side-scrolling horror game. Prepare yourself for the most thrilling night of your life. I love it's kind of in black and white with some accent colors. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you into games like this, Alex?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah, me neither. But I can appreciate them. It looks nice. Like it honestly looks. The art looks very nice and handcrafted and designed. What about this next game?
This next game is Merchants of Kaidan.
That's right.
And it is. It kind of looks like Oregon Trail.
It's a challenging trading game with RPG elements. A trading game.
Trading game. I wonder if it's like Europa Universalis type strategy or.
I don't know what that is, so I'll just say yes.
It's a PC strategy game. It's not a trading card game, not a strategy game, but a trading game fused with RPG elements.
All right, lots of maps, and like leveling up. Looks like you can level up your equipment and stuff. Interesting. It looks nice. It's $10, 10% off right now for $8.99.
Nice.
Yep. Next up, we have Planetarian from Prototype, the developer or the publisher. This is $9.99. Please do not divide heaven in two. This HD remaster is making its way to the Switch, and it looks like an anime girl just talking to you. But what is this? Is this an RPG? What is it? It's an adventure game. Okay.
It looks like a visual novel. As she did this, she somehow looked far, far older than the age that she had been constructed to look. Looks like robot girls.
You know what I say to that?
Yeah.
That's a hard pass. Next up, we have Earhart, Tales of Broken Wings, $17.99. It's an action-packed airplane roguelike.
It's got like
wow, this game is very, very pretty.
It reminds me of Pool Panic. Not
Pool
the
Panic,
person, but particularly the shot with the airplane. I don't know. Something about it gives me like a Cartoon Network style vibe.
Now, this Justin, I can't remember if this is the game that you were obsessed with. I think this might be a really good game. So, it's very interesting. And you always want to hunt down the legendary sky whale, so, All right, what's our next game?
Something that actually looks really cool. Toradama Brave Challenge by G-Mode. And it looks like maybe it could be a WarioWare style game.
Seriously, this game looks amazing. This is like a totally Japanese looking wonky game. A mini game collection based on the courage test. Test your weak feeling inside of you, as we say, chicken level, based on timing of pressing a button, level, and pitch in various kind of critical situations. This game looks awesome. It's $5. It's 30% off for $3.50. You might have to get that one. 2 players. Up to 2 players.
And I see in one of the screenshots there's a knockoff Thwomp that's preparing to strike a knockoff Mario.
Yeah, seriously. You're right.
That's pretty cool.
That looks like lawsuit territory. Like, seriously. But I guess it doesn't say M on his cap, so I think anyone could have overalls and a mustache and a big round nose and a cap, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm actually
very interesting.
Looking at the trailer now.
Yeah.
It looks...
Toradama Brave Challenge. I love WarioWare so much.
WarioWare is one of the best Nintendo franchises.
100% agreed. What's your favorite one?
Oh, I love the GBA one. I think the GBA one gets WarioWare.
I'd agree. I'd say my favorite's the GameCube one, but that's just a.
It's
port
the
of
same
GBA.
game.
But I just love the party games are so much fun. Oh my goodness.
Close second is Twisted. I love
Yes.
Twisted.
Yep, you got it. And it's hard for me, honestly, DIY as a creator. That's one of my favorite games of all time too. We're talking about a lot of those today. About my favorite games of all time.
Nice.
Next up, though, we have Halcyon 6, Star-Based Commander, which is looks like a side-scrolling. What is this? Sometimes it looks like it's a strategy game. That's why it kind of looks like it could be a shoot 'em up, but it's not. It's like a strategy game, and it looks really nice. It has some cool pixel art. It looks like it's heavily like strategic and menu based. So looks cool. Looks like it could be up some people's alleys. What do we have after that?
Stray Cat Doors.
Man, you get the best ones.
$2.59. The end of
Stray
the world
Cat
is
Doors.
warm and sad. Let's escape from the door by exploring the world like a picture book.
Oh, cool.
Escape
Interesting.
game.
For $2.59.
Yeah.
It's an escape game.
It's an escape game that even
An
beginners
adventure
can
puzzle
enjoy.
game.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. Next up, we have Tangle Deep for $19.99. Have you heard of this game?
Nope.
I have. It's been the talk of NWR Slack. I think. Yeah, it has. I think we have a. Yeah, we do have a review. This Neil reviewed it. Yeah, check out the review on the site. He liked it a lot. So, ever-changing, verdant labyrinth, Tangle Deep, and it's turn-based dungeon crawling RPG. You ever play those dungeon crawling RPGs?
Not really. Outside of
Yeah, me neither.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I'd say.
Yeah, I've never even played that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things. And I think the bad things have overcome the good things I've heard about that game. But do you like them?
I don't think I'm not against it, but it's not for me.
Gotcha. All right. See, and that's what I hear, and that's why. See, I'm seeing your tastes in games, and they're very smart tastes. So I just like to agree with
Thanks.
yours. Yep. Next up, though, we do have a game we talked about this week and last week, which is Dragon Marked for Death Advanced Attackers and the Frontline Fighters. They divided this game up in half. So you can buy one, then you can download the others as DLC. We don't need to talk about it anymore. But I will be getting this soon in physical form. So there you go. Next up, though, oh baby, if you don't have this game, Alex, I demand you get it because it's phenomenal. And it's only $3, and that is Downwell. Another game we talked about this week before you arrived.
Is it good?
It's very good.
Okay.
It's very good. It's a roguelite, but you're jumping down a well, you get upgrades. It's awesome. It's so fun. We were playing this at PAX, and we couldn't stop playing. It
Nice.
was amazing. It's actually a really fun. Hand the controller off and let someone, and then watch them play, and then see how far they can go, and then it was a lot of fun. So yeah, highly recommended. This next one though really just screams Culafi next to me. I mean, it just seems like it's your kind of game.
Onigiri by Cyberstep, a free-to-play Japanese-style MMORPG battle action.
That's you, man.
I wonder if there are people playing this. I wonder if
Yeah.
there's cross-platform play.
Yeah, I like the frog sitting on the bench with the cloud of rain falling onto him. This game, man, crazy. It's free though. It's free. Next up, we have Ancient Rush 2: The Lost Treasure for $9.99, and this is. It's very dark. What kind of game is this? Oh, it's Arkanoid Brick Breaker game. Wow, paired with RPG elements. That's interesting. It doesn't look like that at all from the. You would never think so when you see these. Do you see these images?
This is cool.
Yeah, it looks like Dark Souls almost, but like so you never guess it, but it's like from like a 3D perspective Arkanoid game. Interesting, and it's a sequel.
That's a neat idea.
That is neat. Gotta check that out. $9.99. What do I have next?
Shanky the Vegan's Nightmare.
Oh no!
And this hits close to home because I'm dating a vegan.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, don't catch her. Don't let her catch you playing this.
Yeah, that's what the handheld mode is for. Whoa!
Amazing. Yeah, this is just like a raunchy, like, just gross looking. Are you powered by meat? Is that what I'm seeing? Are you just like
a joyful
is
meat grinder?
You play as a joyful meat grinder. That's funny. That's funny.
$6.99.
All right.
I actually can get the next one because it's a game I've played, believe it or not.
Go for it.
So it's called Spoiler Alert. It is a platformer that you play in reverse.
I saw this when this. Yeah.
And I played it on PC. So one thing that you'll notice if you have a Nintendo World Report email account is you'll get random Steam codes for games all the time. That because I think they're just super easy for companies to generate, or at least that's my impression of them.
Well, yeah,
so
because they don't cost anything for them.
Like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, whenever this game initially came out on PC, I got a code for it, and I was like, oh, I'll check this out. And
sure.
It's a pleasant little platformer that, spoiler alert, I guess I won't spoil why it's called Spoiler Alert.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
No,
they really heavily do that on the... Okay,
it's
yeah,
like,
you don't
it's
have
like
to.
a 45-minute platformer. Like, it'll take you a
Gotcha.
little under an hour to beat. And it's.
I mean, I'd say someone look at why it's called a platformer you play in reverse, because it's very unique in that sense.
And it's a cool little mechanic, cool little game. I think $5 might be a couple dollars too many, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I just think if it's an hour or less, it's, I don't know, $5.
Gotcha.
But you know, whatever, $5.
Sure, $5. Cool. Well, next up from the good people at Monster Couch, we have Thea: The Awakening for $17.99. Currently 10% off for $16.19. This looks like, you know what it looks like. Civilization.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit of that, the hexagonal. So check that out. That sounds cool to you. Next game though is about being together and farming, and it's called
Farm Together
for $19.99. Nice looking game. Cute little characters. I can see this being a fun little Animal Crossing like experience. Sure, why not? You know how fun it is to farm. Do you think that farmers go out and farm and then come in and play farm simulators?
That's kind of like owning a dog and still playing Nintendogs.
It is. You're right. Because I played Nintendogs, when I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a dog. It's perfect. Nintendogs.
Right.
And then, once I got a dog, I have no interest in getting a Nintendog.
There's nothing wrong with the game, and like Nintendogs is it's totally fun and scratches the Animal Crossing itch, but it's like it feels like you're neglecting your real dog when you play that and you have a dog.
Yep, exactly. And I can just pet my dog, and I can say its name into no microphone, and it will
just life.
Just life's microphone. Exactly. Now this next game, do you have it?
No, but
Are you interested in it?
I hear it's hard and lengthy, and I'm not about that.
Really? I've heard nothing but incredible things about this game.
I haven't heard bad things, but
I guess hard and lengthy, that's preferential, I guess, because that doesn't mean bad.
Right.
It just means it's hard and lengthy. But this is War Groove. I haven't picked this up yet. This game I was really looking forward to when they showed it off on the first indie showcase, like back before like Snake Pass was out. This is $19.99. It's Advanced Wars. It's what Nintendo should have done. I mean, they should have had Fire Emblem Cross Advanced Wars. I don't know why they haven't done that. It's stupid, But this is the game, and I've heard the characters are really cute, and the story's fun, and the game runs great, and it's fun, and I've heard a lot of good things. But apparently, Alex is too good for the game.
I guess so. I'm just too good for it. It's beneath me.
It's beneath you, yep. But probably not beneath this next game.
I thought it said Tragic Nations. It's Magic Nations.
Magic Nations.
Looks
That's
like
my nickname for Justin.
Magic Nations.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a card game.
It looks
right?
like a card game.
With some epic looking characters there.
$3.
$3. And well, it's not a card. I mean, it's not like playing cards. It's like a board game, puzzle strategy game. With like, you know, it's a completely unique type looking game. So it looks pretty good. $3. Why not? Next up, we have, oh my goodness, no way. Casey is asleep, and he's going to be so sad he missed out on Ping Pong Trick Shot Evolution. He reviewed this for the site, the one before this. Smash that jump shot. That's amazing. It's $4.99. It's like beer pong, but like enhanced, like in a side scroller.
It was his review positive because it looks like decently
I think it
fun.
was positive. Yeah, it was, especially for the price too. So, yeah. What's this next one though? We're at 3 left.
3 left. The Path of Modus, a game where words destroy.
Okay.
It's just Michael Hicks. It's just some dude's name and the developer.
Yeah, he published it. Yeah. It's a village of goblins. So this is it's an action adventure puzzle platformer. Looks kind of interesting, and like you got to solve some puzzles to get through and talk to people, and yeah. $14.99. There's a demo also.
Nice.
And then second to last, we have The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. For $29.99. And this is an adventure game. Save data cloud backup is not supported. FYI. And it's a very pretty looking game. There's a lot of screenshots. Look really nice. But you are into adventure games, aren't you?
I like The Walking Dead. I like Telltale.
Okay.
Rest in peace. But
Yeah.
no,
hear
not these kinds of
Okay.
adventure games too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't say these kind, but yeah, I think kind of more quirkier ones, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Avenger Bird from Ultimate Games for $2.30. And this is a cute looking little platformer. Actually, it looks totally up my alley because I am such a sucker for cute little pixely platformers. And they sent us a code for this. And so I'm going to talk about this next week on the podcast. So if you're back on, Alex, then you can hear about it then.
I can't wait.
Skibbity boosh. So that'll do it for our eShop roundup. And amazingly enough, that'll do it for this podcast. And I guess we're heading almost to 2 hours here, which is awesome and crazy. But I really want to thank my co-host Casey for sticking around. And even though he's unconscious, he's here also in dreams. And of course, Alex, thank you so much. It's so fun to have you on and talk to you about things.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me,
Yeah.
Perry.
Oh, absolutely. So much fun. We missed you at PAX. It felt a little bizarre without you there, just to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Come to Boston.
It wasn't. I know. I really want to. Trust me, I do want to.
Okay.
And it's not completely out of the question.
Okay.
But it basically is, though.
Okay.
But maybe we'll just come to Boston just to hang out.
Yeah.
At some different time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you so much. And we'll try to have you on next week. I mean, you're invited, so it's up to you if you're going to come on or not, is what I'm saying.
I plan on it.
Okay, cool. And thank you everyone for listening. I'll handle the outro since Casey's not here. He's usually pretty good at that. I stink at talking if I need to talk. But you can find us at Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo POD. Of course, check out our website, NintendoWorldReport.com. Check out our YouTube, NWR TV. And Alex, where can they find you and your ramblings?
You can find
and your
me,
podcast.
You can find me on my podcast, Three Unprepared Men. I talk to my friends about cool subjects every single week. Like
What's this week?
This week, so me and my friends did this thing called the Great Creative Bet, where we each put $50 down on the line to see what we could create in a month. And then whoever doesn't have a good month owes the other people $50. So
Wait. So, okay. So what's the object?
all right. So there's three boys, three unprepared men.
I get that.
Okay. It's $50 we each put on the line for who could have the most creative month possible.
Oh, creative month. Gotcha. So you're not using $50 to create something.
No, we're just having
Gotcha.
the most creative month possible, and
okay.
$50 is on the line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, are you like going through what you're doing through the weeks?
Well, we recorded two pieces which are both out now for the podcast.
Gotcha.
Where we
Gotcha.
did one
Gotcha.
before what we think we're going to work on, then we did one after, and where we listed it off what we worked on.
So it's done.
It's done. It already
So
happened.
the month has been passed.
Yes, but
All right, so we can listen to it now and see what happened.
I think I referenced Talk Nintendo podcast as something I did in the month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I count it.
Oh, so nice. Well, then you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. You know what? Yeah, we'll have to do a game next time you come back on. I was thinking we could play Super Password. Maybe next week we'll do that because that was so much fun. And I highly recommend people, if you didn't listen to our PAX segment that's on, I think we have it on YouTube. It's on, no. It's posted on our podcast feed, our Super Password, because you don't need any visuals for it, which is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. Dude, it was amazing, Alex. Next time we do PAX East,
Yeah.
it'll be so much fun. You're going to have so much fun with it, because it was one of the most fun I've ever had at a panel.
Okay.
It was awesome. We had like 25 people, get to play. Or I think maybe even more. It was so much fun, so... But yes, thank you, everyone. I'm going to say a formal goodbye. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
But it's like a jelly bean made improperly.
Resident Evil 4.
Wasn't to say, do you like have to stay away from schools now? You look like
No.
a big old creep.
No.
Who's that creeper with the beard?
No, I got to stay away from schools. That would be for different reasons. But, so, of
I'm
course...
just thinking back to PAX. I'll kiss you on the lips. Everyone's like, wait, what?
That was not... Okay, so just so everyone knows, I told a little...
It sounds even worse when you preface it like that.
I know. Okay, so let me preface the whole thing, by saying that on King of the Hill, the coach from their high school team says, "If you guys take me to state, I'm going to kiss every one of you on the mouth." So I was making a joke based off that. Like I do, I make King of the Hill jokes. You know, right, Casey? You can back me up on this.
Yeah, I've
King
never
of the
heard
Hill?
you.
No, I've never.
Yeah, I don't
And,
even think you watched that show.
Yeah. So I told this little kid that if he got this right, that I'd give him a kiss on the lips, knowing that he wouldn't get it right.
He was
Obviously,
close.
if I wanted to, I would have done it. If it was an easy, answer.
Then you would have found
close.
You would have found yourself in the San Antonio Slammer.
Although there was that one kid that was like that.
Oh,
it
the
was
Funky
like,
Kong. Yep.
Yes, that was amazing. It was because it was cool. That was the joke, and he's like, or that was like first code. And he's like, Donkey Kong? And I'm like,
Did he say funky?
yeah, I know.
But even so,
I think
props.
didn't Neil say that like he was over there because he couldn't
He's
hear
scrambling
like, super well.
like, oh no.
Did he say funky Kong?
Yeah, can you say that again, please?
Yeah, but that was funny.
Period, comma.